Why, hello there, YouTube. I didn't see you come in. It's good to be here with you this day. And it's been a handful of days since I've made some content for you. And don't worry, I'll be brief as to why. Essentially, I couldn't figure out what sort of Armored Core content to do. And then it occurred to me, those people who want to see Armored Core content are also the same sort of people who likely want to play the games themselves and experience it. So this mission is me S-ranking the Chapter 2 boss, right? So I got a pretty good run-in. If you don't want to see that, if you don't want to see any more of that mission, skip to the 5-minute mark, and you'll be clean, and you'll see some one-on-ones that are non-spoilery, essentially, or very low spoilers, I would say. But this was me wanting to do the Chapter 2 boss in Armored Core. But I wanted to do it and get an S rank. The boss was a little bit of a filter, even for me, and I know I've used that term ad nauseum in these videos. I say it only briefly. I didn't really get filtered. He just gave me a little bit of trouble. I probably fought him for 2 or so hours, and then I had to take a break. That was the end of my day. I had to go to bed, go to work, you know, the usual. And then when I came back to him, I think it was my 3rd attempt, and I killed him. I was kind of proud of that. He was a little tough for me. I was just not understanding his attack pattern. I wasn't looking at it as much as just ramming my head against the wall and brute forcing it. You know, turning my brain off, just trying to mindlessly play the video game instead of learn the video game. It's a FromSoft game. You gotta learn the video game, and then you may succeed. And so I wanted to make this video talking about the concept of the pursuit of cool and all of its various iterations. Armored Core is very much in the pursuit of cool. It wants you to look cool, it wants you to feel cool, it wants you to skill expression your way into the rule of cool, if you can. And it does a fantastic job at that. The animations are very well blended together, so that when you take down another rival Armored Core, for instance, the game slows down just for a moment, like maybe a second, maybe 2 seconds tops. I haven't measured it. Don't at me. I don't know. But it's not like Fallout New Vegas or any of the, or Fallout 3, where you kill something and it slows down and you swear you're watching this slow down kill for like 5 to 8 seconds and it just feels like an eternity. You know, this game slows down just enough that you can see all the pretty particle effects and you feel awesome. The animations look cool so that it almost feels like you could hit a print screen at almost any given moment during an attack and look and feel cool. It does a wonderful job of that. It lets you customize your mech to be the colorations you like, make you feel good, or you can be wacky and goofy. It lets you do all sorts of silly things of that nature. This game is the rule of cool. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the rule of cool, the rule of cool, for lack of me having a definition in front of me, I will try to just come up with one. The rule of cool is, if it's cool enough, it'll bypass any other rule. Right, so you're allowed to do nonsensical things, you're allowed to do a little bit wackier, zany things, you're allowed to do things that aren't conventional wisdom, as long as it's cool. For instance, I'm taking a pile driver, which is the spike gun in my, it's not even a gun, the spike melee weapon in my left hand, right? And I'm able, even though it has short range and it feels like it wouldn't be the ideal tool for a job like this, I'm able to get up close, boost in, and smack it with a big old spike. A spike that is being pushed outward due to a very strong machine. And it's cool. It doesn't make any sense for machine-on-machine warfare. That's not something we would conceive of. Heck, even mechs are not conventional warfare. Even if we had the technology to make them, I'm pretty certain technology would take more of the approach of flying drones with omnidirectional weapons. Or, you know, even ground-based RC cars. You know, the autonomous vehicles, not necessarily human-shaped ones. But we forgive that, right? In favor of the rule of cool, we forgive that the game wants you to be a big old fighting mech because it looks awesome and you have a grand time doing it. So that's a little bit of the rule. The whole game is based on the rule of cool. And it doesn't just translate to you suspending your disbelief and accepting the medium that's in front of you. It branches outward to the game feel, the gameplay loop, and all of those tasty things. So the people who are skipping the spoilers are just joining us now, so I'll rehash the idea very briefly. The game is built upon the rule of cool. What's the rule of cool? The rule of cool is the idea that if you do something silly or non-conventional, but it is perceived as cool, it is permissible, it is allowed. Armored Core is the rule of cool fundamentally, and it pursues cool in all of its facets. Its animations, to its slowing down just for a moment, in a good way, in a flavorful way when you take down an enemy Armored Core, and things of that sort. Alright, you're caught up. Congratulations. Everyone who just heard me hash out those ideas over 5 minutes is groaning because they just got the TLDR. And if I was much better at, speaking about my ideas, getting them across to other people, I probably could have done that in a much more effective pattern. But hey, this is my one-man podcast where I get to rant over some neat old highlight footage. And so now, because we are in pursuit of cool and things are forgivable as long as they're cool, I decided it would be funny if I made my mech gold. And it's still cool. It feels like somebody with a lot of hubris in the world of Armored Core, with your suspended disbelief, somebody would paint or have a metallic gold. Is it real gold? No, of course not. That'd probably be a little silly. They probably just have a shiny gold-like material. Just to get that feeling across. It feels like something somebody would do. Some blinged-out mercenary who thinks he's hot stuff. And so I play as a heavy mech for the most part, wearing gold, and I like it. And I think it works. It's like a 13-year-old's idea of cool. It's rather stupid, but because we are looking forward to the rule of cool, having this gold and metallic outer coat with some inner black trim, I don't even know if you call it trim, this inner black machinery with gold plating or gold-like plating. It works. It's cool. I like it. This was a horrible matchup for me, by the way, even though it's me versus NPC. This guy's on tank treads. He knows how to move and turn, and he's going in these figure eights too fast for me to catch up. He's railing me with missiles. I'm just trying to get in. I'm a little too heavy, and my weapon's a little too short range. I've got a shotgun in one hand. I've got the melee spike driver or pile driver in my offhand, and then I have the Songbird's double mortars, which are really bad if an enemy has really good side-to-side movement. It's best if you can catch somebody who's already had their posture broken, or get them in a tight space where there is no mobility. And don't you know, even though I don't break his posture, I find him in this corner and I hit him with double songbirds, and it's going to be all over for him. Oh, maybe his posture was broken. Either way, the corner's an ideal place to catch that son of a gun. And so even with my bad matchup, I'm able to win. Barely. But I'm able to win regardless. So what's my plan moving forward? I'm gonna lay low on the Armored Core content. I would love to make more. I don't know what variety that would take. I would hate to leave while the iron is hot, but maybe this iron is not for me. But I like Armored Core. I wholly recommend it. I think you'll have a great time, even if you're not a fan of mecha. I came into this not a fan of mecha, kind of indifferent to the mecha genre, more or less. And now I'm for it. It's cool. I get it. I finally get it. But I'm not a weep by any stretch of the imagination. Not in the least bit. But this is rule of cool enough. It's forgivable enough. And I do silly things like tank treads, double miniguns with songbirds. And oh, it's so silly. You have to be really close. You gotta think of those guns like shotguns, even though they're miniguns. That's just how the game is. They're very short-range weapons, at least if you want them to be effective. If you're out too far, it does less damage. So, back to my main point, and not so much on the build. I'm gonna lay low on the Armored Core content for a little bit until I know what I want to do with it. Maybe I'll do a playthrough. Maybe I will show off how to get the various 3 endings. I don't know. I've learned, and this isn't much of a spoiler, is that there are 3 endings of the game. And though there are exceptions, it seems that you basically get an ending on New Game Cycle, you know, your first playthrough, then you can get a new ending on New Game Plus, and then there is a 3rd ending on New Game Plus Plus. At least it's my understanding. I reserve the right to be totally and horribly and insatiably wrong on the subject matter. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put out some more Elden Ring content. Booyah, I already have some footage recorded. Hopefully I'll have it out to you very soon, and I'm glad to be back. It was a little bit of a hiatus. I was playing some Chrono Trigger, I was playing some Armored Core, I was barely dabbling in Elden Ring, not enough to make any content as of recently, but now I am making content again. And it'll be good to get back to my roots. We will do great things together, you and I, dear viewer, and those great things are having fun, relaxing, and enjoying ourselves thoroughly. We're here to have fun, and doggone it, we're gonna do it. And look at this silly double shotgun build. I had fun doing this. It's silly. You just get a quad leg of some kind, and you have shotguns on your holsters, on your shoulders, and you have shotguns in your main head, of course, and you're just alternating between those suckers while strafing around some poor sod and making him miserable. And I always wanted to get the boost kick, because the boost kick with the quad leg seems to be the most forgiving, but I don't land it, but he still blows up anyways. The idea of these shotguns being like 5 meters long or something, because your mech's like somewhere around 10 meters long, is absolutely ridiculous. It's super rule of cool. It has to be. I mean, that's not a conventional thing we would come up with. We don't make shotguns that big in the real world. If we're gonna make a gun that big, it's gonna fire a slug or an explosive. I don't even think they fire slugs. I think most of them are meant to explode in some capacity. Or maybe I don't know how artillery works. But I thank you for joining me today. It's been a good little romp. It's been a short little romp. And I don't know, I'm just glad to have you. And look at this fast little boy I'm fighting against with the double shotguns. I wanted to see how it would perform on a jump build. And he's too fast for me. I'm just bad. But hey, we break his posture, we get some free shots. Hop, pop, he gone. That brother gone. I hope you enjoy your Labor Day. That's when I'm recording this. And you better enjoy the rest of your week too. You earned it. It's good to have you around. You make me smile. Bye-bye now.